Alright, so the multiplier effect. So let's assume that the marginal propensity to consume B is 0.8 and the average tax rate right now is 0, right? And then let's say that there is an injection in the form of investment of 100. To show this injection, the AE will shift upwards by 100. Now, so this over here is the new AE curve. This means that there has been income generation of 100, that Y has increased by 100. Now, since in this economy B equals to 0.8, this means that savings will be 20% of the income generation, that's 20, and consumption will be of 80. This additional consumption will lead to further income generation of 80, right? So this means that Y has increased by 80 again. Now, 0.8 for consumption and 0.2 for savings. So savings over here will be 16 and consumption will be a further 64. Right? This means that there has been yet again an increase in income of 64. Again, 20% to savings, this will be 12.8, and the remaining 80% to consumption, this means 51.2. Right? And this will continue all the way till it reaches 0. This means that an injection of 100 in the form of investment leads to income generation of much more. In first, income generation was of 100 because of investment, then of 80 because of consumption, then 64, then 51.2, and this will go all the way till it reaches 0. So basically, what I'm trying to show over here is the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect is that a change in the autonomous components of aggregate expenditure, which are A, Q, I, and J. Autonomous components mean that they are not related to income. So a change in autonomous components of AE will lead to a rise in equilibrium income by a multiple of the initial increase in the autonomous components of aggregate expenditure, right? So this means that all autonomous components mean that your AE will rise through upward shifts. There won't be any gradient changing component. So the key word here is that the AE curve shifts upwards, and it causes a rise in equilibrium national income by a multiple of the initial increase in the autonomous components of aggregate expenditure. So the multiplier, it basically provides a measure of the magnitude of this change, right? So there are multiple ways to calculate the multiplier. And the multiplier in a closed economy is different as compared to a multiplier in an open economy. So in this video, we'll talk about how to calculate the multiplier in a closed mixed economy. So the first formula is very simple. It's basically change in Y upon change in AE, right? So let's say the change in equilibrium income is of 300 when AE rose by 100. So this is very simple to calculate, and this doesn't really show up. But so the multiplier over here will be 3. This means that the change in Y is equals to thrice the change in AE. The other method involves BYD. So when we were discussing consumption, we talked about how consumption is a function of disposable income. So BYD is basically B1 minus T. Now let's say B is 0.8 and the T is equals to 0.2. The average tax rate is 0.2 and the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8. Now the thing is that the B, the marginal propensity to consume, is applied to disposable income, resulting in spending of a relatively lower income, right? Because consumers do not get to spend the exact income they earn. They have to first give some of it in the form of taxes, and on that they apply the marginal propensity to consume. So this means that, let's say if this is 0.8, 1 minus 0.2, 0.8 of 0.8, right? So 0.8 is a disposable income per dollar, let's say. So the marginal propensity to consume will be applied to this 0.8, the leftover income that they have after paying off the taxes. So this will be 0.64, and this is denoted by Z, which means the marginal propensity to spend. Basically, this shows how much a consumer will spend per dollar. So the formula for the multiplier, denoted by M, will be 1 upon 1 minus Z. So Z is the marginal propensity to spend, 1 minus Z is the marginal propensity to not spend. So the multiplier formula will be 1 upon 1 minus Z. The last formula to calculate this deals with withdrawals. So the formula is simple: 1 upon withdrawals in an economy. So withdrawals in a closed mixed economy will be the marginal propensity to not spend and taxes, right? So basically savings and what you give away in the form of taxes. So 1 upon tax plus basically PS, marginal propensity to save. I'll call MPS as marginal propensity to save, because savings and taxes are the only two withdrawals in a closed mixed economy, because this economy does not trade with other countries. So using the same example, 1 upon 0.2 plus 0.2 of your disposable income, because per dollar you're left with 0.8 disposable income that you can spend, and from that disposable income the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8, so 0.2 will go as savings. So this will be 1 upon 0.2 plus 0.16 is 0.36, right? So this is the third way to calculate the multiplier. Now the last thing for this video is, let's say your multiplier is 3, right? And let's all do autonomous components A, B, Q, I, and G. Let's say this rose by 100, Q rose by 100, investment rose by 100, and government expenditure rose by 100. Because of the multiplier effect, the increase in Y for this will be for the increase in income due to the increase in autonomous consumption will be 300. For investment, the increase will be of 300. For government expenditure, the increase would be of 300. But for Q, for Q, this will not be 300, because Q is also connected with 0.8, which means that the increase in Q is of 80, and that 80 multiplied by the multiplier will increase by 240. So this is it for this video. In the next video we'll talk about the accelerator theory, and then we'll move towards the open economy.